thank you so much to all of our Patreon supporters and everybody who watches every day. I really appreciate you guys. If you want to help support the channel, keep it funded, and you don't have to hear sponsorships or crazy advertisements, crazy skits and stuff, because I would go overboard probably. You can help by joining Patreon. You get a video just like you're about to watch now. If you join the $30 tier up, you get 1 to 2 free requests a month, depending on the length. You'll see the rules and stuff when you join, and we'd love to have you. We have a Discord server, lots of people chatting in there, having a good time. We would love to have you. See you there. Man, I'm going to be kind of sad to see this one go. This has been such a delightful surprise. I'm not going to lie. Hi guys, welcome to Lee Reacts. Hope everyone's having a good day. Hey, I know I am, and we are back with Jethro Tull for our Tull Tuesday video of the week. Courtesy of our Omega patron, Cora, as always. Thank you, Cora. I really appreciate you. We're going to be finishing up the album A today. It's the last 3 tracks. Apparently, they're really good, according to Cora. And this album has, like I said, been a real... I don't even know how to describe it. It's like Crest of the Knave almost, in a way. It's just... It's too good to ignore. And it sucks that a lot of people probably do, because, I don't know, everyone's got their favorite era of this band. But for some reason, the 80s stuff is just so good. I love it. So let's finish her up. Let's not draw this out longer than it needs to be, because I'm trying to linger for time so I could hang out more with this album, but that's okay. I'll link my Tull playlist up there. You can go watch some other stuff. We have extensively covered this band. Seriously. All right, first up, 4WD Low Ratio, and then it's the Pine Martin's Jig, and then Further On. I think that's what the 3 tracks are. But don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and a comment if you don't mind. All right, 4WD, Jethro Tull, 3, 2, 1, go. Oh, it's 4-wheel drive. That makes sense. 4WD. Sounds like a vocoder or something. Turned really low. What a pairing. Marten's such a beast on that freaking solo, bro. Take you down to the edge of town where the road stops. We start to hold the ground. But I got traction in a special way. The roll bar slide back till we fall around. Let me show you my four-wheel drive. Now it's over. Man, Jobson is such a beast, dude. Marten did great in that song, too. That was a great track. The Pine Martens Jig. There's so much going on, dude. Wow. Ignition. It definitely feels like a jig. I love it. That was unrelenting. I love that. I love when they do this, the full instrumental tracks. They do them so well. And further on, our last track. Give me some Jobson goodness before we go.
We saw the heavens break and all the world go down to sleep, and rocks on mossy banks drip acid rain from craggy steeps. Soft fiery angels kiss the dawn. Wish you goodbye till further on.
Well, so wistful.
Will you still be there further on? And troubled dynasties like legions lost have blown away. Arms hard upon their heels, all to their quarry wait to play. Before the last faint light has gone,
Wasn't expecting this.
wish you goodbye till further on.
That's a beautiful melody, man.
Will you still be there
Ian is amazing.
further on?
That's funny. A for amazing.
The angry waves grow high, the icy seas on northern shores. Bright eyes that flicker come,
There's so much finality to it.
waves through broken doors. And with the last line almost gone, wish you goodbye till further on. Will we still be here?
It paints such a beautiful picture in your head.
further on?
So many questions raised from that. Will we be here further on? I know Ian will. Even when he's gone, hopefully there'll still be people playing his music long after his years are over, and mine hopefully as well. He deserves to be remembered. He really, he really does. There's a lot of artists that deserve that, but I think Ian Anderson, no matter what, he just brings it, dude. I think this album is I'd say A for amazing. It's A for Anderson, but A for amazing as well. It's almost like a perfect mix of that 80s sound that they eventually grow into. That's very present here, but there are still flourishes of the 70s and even, dare I say, the 60s stuff at points. But it's definitely a good balance between the two. I think Eddie Jobson, he adds so much. He really does to this album. He is the star of the show, I think, other than Ian. Marten definitely puts on a great performance, as always, as when he pops up. But I feel like the synth landscapes, or soundscapes, I should say, were basically used by him, and Ian was singing over it. And then they had, like, in that second to last song, they had a guitar, a mandolin, it sounded like there was a steel guitar in there. There is like a fiddle or a violin or something. They literally had everything with strings possible playing at that one moment. And that's when I said there's a lot going on. I mean, that one song, there was a lot to it. That the second song, the Pine Martens Jig, it felt like a jig too. It really did. It had its points where it definitely, I would say it was a jig. And then others, especially in the second half, it kind of pushes on to a different direction, and the Eddie Jobson effect kind of takes over, especially in that last track, man. Like, it was just synthesizer heaven, dude. And you've got Ian just, singing wistfully over that with the flute as well. I think the flute pairs so well with the synthesizers. It's such an interesting mix of sounds. It's not usual for this type of, I guess you could say rock and roll or whatever, but that's kind of what makes Tull special, is they're definitely unique compared to every other band there, because there isn't really a band like Jethro Tull. You know how Chicago had Blood, Sweat, and Tears and blah blah blah. So like, not every band, but there's a lot of bands that had copies of them. Unless I haven't found them yet, I don't think there's many copy Jethro Tull bands. You know what I'm saying? Then there isn't any Jethro Tull clones. I guess that's the best way to put it. They stayed wholly unique, and no one really tried to copy the formula, because I guess Ian, he was the secret sauce, I guess, because he was there for all of it. So it's very apparent that he is a genius. He really is. And definitely one of my favorite albums. It's crazy to say. After all the albums, man, this is easily a top 5, maybe top 10. It depends on the day album. And we've done a lot of them, so I definitely have a top 10 already. But this would, and that's the hard part, is replacing this album. Like, what do I take out to put this album in? It sucks, because they're all so good. But you can't really discount the later stuff, even though some people may not like it as much. It's still good in my book. So this came out in 1980, August 29th. It got good reviews. Mark Craney on drums, Dave Pegg on bass and mandolin, Martin Barr on guitar, and Ian Anderson on vocals and flute, and then Eddie Jobson, keyboards, synthesizer, and the electric violin on the Pine Martin's jig. And if I had to pick between these 3 songs, I would probably go with the Pine Martin's jig. But that's a hard one, though. I'm not going to lie. Those are both, or all 3 of those are very solid tracks. The second one was so climactic and had, like I said, a sense of finality to it. Obviously, it's the last track on the album, so that's why. But I loved Ian's vocals in that one. It had it had this sort of like restless abandon to it. I don't know how to describe the exact feeling it gave me, but he has so many different little styles that he like throws on his voice. Like, he's like his own little like synthesizer in a way, because he can make his voice kind of just do all kinds of different things. He's got sort of like the Paul McCartney thing going on, He can sound a 1,000 different ways, you know what I'm saying? But he still sounds like Ian no matter what. I think that's really, really cool, man. I mean, no matter what year, no matter what album, what lineup, he is just always the constant, man. And he's excellent, absolutely excellent. I love Martin's guitar, or his solo, at least in the first and the second track. I liked when the synthesizer and the guitar paired up too. That was the most 80s sounding feel to it, is those very synth heavy sections with the guitar solo, or the lead kind of going with it. And it sounds really cool, man. Like, they really were it felt like pioneering some stuff here. Dare I say it? It's very different, for them, but that's just how they were. They always tried to push the envelope in one way or the other, and this is them kind of reaching into a territory that isn't really, they weren't known for. And I feel like that takes balls of steel, man, especially back then, because you never know when your time's up as an artist back then. Even nowadays, it's probably even a quicker, shelf life than back then, but you never know, man. Especially if you come out with one bad album, that can end it all, man. Look what happened to the Bee Gees. You know what I'm saying? They still have a very devoted fan base, but one song, one album, and that's it. And I feel like Tull never really cared. They just kind of did their thing, and I love them for that. Seriously, because it's some of the most unique and just entertaining music I've ever heard. And this album is included in that pantheon of great albums by them for sure. Thank you as always, Cora. That was a wonderful ride. I'd say, yeah, Pine Martin's jig is my favorite, but all 3 of them are pretty solid. If I had to go for the whole album, though, that's a tough one, because this album is freaking rough to pick from. Man, that's rough. Literally all of side 1, except for track 2, Flying Dale Flyer, which is okay. It just wasn't up to par compared to the other 3. And then I guess Protect and Survive was great. Batteries Not Included was excellent. Uniform was really good. Pine Martin's jig was really good, and further on. I wasn't the biggest fan of 4-wheel drive, or 4WD, whatever you want to call it. It was still a good track, though. It just wasn't as good as the others. So I would put Flying Dale Flyer and that one kind of at the bottom of my ranking, and the other ones you could pick. It doesn't really matter. I liked all of them the same, to be honest. This is going up there with Crest of a Knave, The Passion Play, Minstrel in the Gallery. All of my favorites. This is getting included. And who would have thought that? You know, all these months later, all these albums in, man, we've listened to so much by them, and I'm still finding new albums that are entering my top 5 to 10 list. Like, that's crazy. That's really, really wild, because we've gone through all of their hits, quote unquote, you know, and I love that, man. That's so cool. But if you guys think of any ideas where we should go next, maybe some singles, a different album, it's up to Cora, but she always takes y'all's input into you know, your suggestions into her input or whatever. If you want to just leave a comment with another, you know, Tull track or album to do, I'm totally down to do more. Obviously these Tull Tuesdays aren't going anywhere. Next week we are doing Heavy Horses with Eddie Jobson, I believe. I think that's what she sent in, so we'll be doing that next week, but I'm free after that, so let me know what you think. I'd say that the bass, obviously, I try to say some on each instrument before I go. The bass and the drums, very apparent in the mix, but they weren't the focus of it, to be honest. My ear kind of was leaning more towards Eddie Jobson and Ian and Marten, but they both, Mark and Dave, were doing a great job, seriously. Like, they kind of had to keep all this almost, you know, at points out of this world sounds and stuff. They had to keep it into a, you know, down to earth rhythm, and they really came up to the task. They did a great job here. They weren't my favorite part of the songs itself, but there were some great fills in there. The bass was always great when it popped up. Very I wouldn't say groovy sound, but it had a real chunky sound. The bass did. I think that's always a good sign, because the bass has got to be great no matter what. You got to have a good bass player. The bassist is so important. And I'd say that out of all these songs, if I really had to pick one, gun to my head, oh man, it wouldn't be Crossfire. Maybe it might be Batteries Not Included. That might be my favorite. That's crazy. But thank you as always, Cora. Thank you guys for watching. You rock. Seriously. Hope you have a great day. Bye.